Okay, so for example, when Gunna got locked up, he was at the top of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Pushin' P was probably his biggest song.
Man, that album was crazy.
It was an anthem, right? Everyone was putting P's in their Instagram posts, and he was at the very top of his game. Since he's come home, he hasn't spoken, he hasn't dropped any music, nothing. Do you think at some point he could get to where he was before or even bigger?
That's the only way that he can do that is when Thug come home and be on his side.
Aha, okay.
That's the only way. If Thug don't put out a statement saying that he didn't tell on him and that's his brother, or you don't see Thug when Thug get out and be like this and they still be Thug and Gunna how they was, his career ain't gonna be able to do it no more. He needs that.
It's dependent on Young Thug. That's an interesting interesting statement. Yeah.
He needs that because it's like everybody looking at it like, oh, you snitched on Thug. Thug put you on. You a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But it's niggas like me that's looking like, man, all that nigga did was plead guilty to what he was guilty of. But that part with the judge having him rehearse and basically criminalize people like and say it like, yeah, we're a gang.
Oh yeah, no. I remember when I first heard the video, when I first watched the video, when the judge said, and you're admitting that YSL is a criminal organization. And you could tell there was that pause.
I would have had to do this.
You could tell there was that pause because I don't think he knew that question was going to come.
Because that was too much.
And he was like,
it's all for the cameras. Ma'am. It's all for the cameras. All that shit. I've never seen that.
People do criminal activities in furtherance of the gang. Yes, ma'am.
I've never seen that. When you plead guilty to something, that's just what it is. You plead guilty to the charge that you're going to plead guilty to, and then we'll see you for sentencing. It's not, okay, so my judge didn't get up there, so you're pleading guilty to possession with intent to deliver crack cocaine, correct? It was none of that. It was just, you feel me? Innocent or guilty? Guilty. That was it.
Sentence, that's it. No, they made a pony show out of him.
Yeah, no, for real.
They were like, go ahead and prance around and let us show the world that we're running the show here and you're going to do whatever we tell you to do in order to get out. And the sad thing about this, because I remember I even talked to the lawyer. I mean, he basically was like, look, we could have either taken this deal or we could have taken it to court and we would have won it. Because I remember going through this. And I remember me and George Sheedy, who had been following this case very carefully, you know, he actually told us this was about to happen before it happened, right? And when we were going through the indictment and all the paperwork, it was like both of us couldn't really understand why Gunna was even there. Because out of everyone in that, you know, the 28 defendants,
the world
Gunna had like nothing on him. He was in a car when they found some little bit of drugs and some guns, but there was a car behind him. He was not a gang leader. There was nothing violent about him. He was not like all this shit that they were putting on Thug and the other guys, they weren't putting on him. He was just there. He was just around as an artist. So I'm like, okay, he's going to be let out first. He could have probably gone to court and won it. But, you know, and a lot of people don't go to prison. I think, you know, if you've never been to prison, I think that there is a terror around the unknown of it all. You know, you think you're going to go in and they're just going to rape you on day one and, you know, it's going to be the worst thing that's ever happened to you in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've never been to prison. I mean, listen, I've gotten locked. I mean, the first time I went to jail, I'm like, yo, this is horrible. Like, this sucks.
Man,
I never even went to prison.
The county
I was
worse.
In central booking and, you know, the precinct. Like, and it sucked.
Oh, yeah.